And we are back as we have Mockit coming up against Dinero. Both these teams started off with a loss, with Brendan Haggis taking out Precision Knight and missed it, and Kimbo and Speed taking out Looney and Squashy. So both these teams are going to look to get back on track here, Wonderboy.
Yeah, a tricky Shark Tank that is Division 1. I mean, so many good teams, so many good players, swimming around this Shark Tank. It's unsurprising to see, these decent players who've put a lot of hours into Halo 5, take a knock or a loss here or there. But like you said, both these two teams looking to bounce back. Interestingly enough, when I was playing in the Europa double down special, I think it was called, two players in this lobby actually gave me a loss. Precision Knight in my group made me go 2-1 with Jimbo instead of 3-0 because he literally carried. He was literally impossible to play against. He's so good. And then in the semifinals, we lost to Squashy Josh of Mockit, or Squashy, should I just say? So I have beef with both sets of players. We'll see who comes out on top to be King Beef.
And here we go. See who comes out on top, so you can take the pride and mantle of Wonderboy's biggest hate in EU Halo, as you have both suffered him a loss, and he's looking to maybe rooting against both teams here, you might say, as it 1-1 here. Camouflage still up, and importantly is, it seems to have gone over towards Dinero. Lovely bit of stuff out of Mister there to make sure that his team get the camouflage and get some map control as they now rotate towards Car.
Yeah, smart move, actually. After getting that kill, you're still weak and your teammate's going to be spawning in P1, to just kind of move away and let your teammate who's, fresh off the respawn grab the new camouflage, which is exactly what's happened. And you can see the response here from Mockit. Happy to slow the game down, but that might be to their detriment. So Looney's able to find the 5 onto Mister, but Precision Knight hasn't really been too active with this camouflage. Has been just having free range of the map, but not necessarily, putting the damage down where he needs to. Either way, it's Dinero going into a 5-2 lead to start off Truth.
Yeah, Precision Knight now, he got 2 kills with that camouflage. Missed it on the opposite side of the car. He put some shots down and was able to clean up. Precision Knight was then able to clean up of a kill onto the P attic. And now Mockit are in all kinds of trouble as they're down by 4 kills now. Josh in the bubble will have a fight now against Mister, but Mister's getting the better of him, and Precision Knight comes in with that help. The helping hand does come in the shape and form of Precision Knight's pistol. 5 kills difference now in the game. Already slowing down.
Unfortunate spawn, I suppose you could say, for Squashy, but really when you have Mister using his thrust early in a fight and you have the height advantage on him, you should be winning that fight, really, from Squashy. So could have traded himself off, instead was taken up by Precision Knight in the end. Mister, again, just playing so smartly, staying away. Squashy with the good awareness, though, and listening to his teammate Looney, just looking out for him, knowing he's no shields and might just get a bit overzealous and peek. But so far, from Precision Knight and Mister, this has been exactly what they would have wanted. They've got Looney pushing in by himself. They've got Squashy too far away to trade it off. So overall, this is going exactly to plan for them.
Yeah, really heads up play from Mister when he's in a gunfight, and even if he's down in the fight, he gets 3 kills, and Looney, you've seen Looney get 4 shots onto him. He just backs down and says, "All right, Precision Knight, that's all yours now. I've done my job. I'm out of here." And Precision Knight comes over, cleans up the kill, like the great janitor that he is. So great heads up play from them. Not always having to hit your shots, just having some better teamwork and better coordination, as it would seem. Precision Knight still manages to play his life here. A little sliver of health left, but it's enough to keep him a factor on the map. And now Squashy's all alone, needs to get this fight, but loses the fight again, and now 12 kills to 5. And let's say Dinero GG just doing a great job utilizing the map to the best of their ability, as they're a bit split now, one on either side of the base. But importantly enough, Mockit are also split and missed it, slowing down just enough to give Precision Knight enough time to get over and offer some support.
Yeah, smart movement actually from Precision Knight as well, to move away from the carbine tower, knowing Camo's coming up very soon. He might die here to score. He made the right movement play at the very least, but it looks like Mockit making a superior play, and Squashy is able to take him down and hopefully get away with his camouflage, as Precision Knight actually messes up his grenade. That's going to cost him maybe his life here, as Looney and Squashy can work together.
Yeah, he sorted out
this
there.
one up.
Sorted out, immediately tried to throw that grenade, but it did bank off that wall. So instead of it going straight down to P1 and maybe at Camouflage's feet, instead it spun back and almost returns to himself bit of a boomerang grenade almost, but Squashy and Looney will capitalize on that mistake, as now Squashy gets himself into a fight. Bit of an audio cue for the guys over in Dinero who must have heard the camo player jumping around, and now as a result of that, they've answered right back and got a clean wipe of their own. 14 kills to 8.
That is poor from Mockit. How do you have camouflage and a collapsing on a base and it end up a clean wipe in the other team's favor? That just cannot happen if you want to try and get back into a game, especially on Truth, where clean wipes are so hard to come by. Looney again soaring out by himself. Luckily Looney can trade off his own death, but Squashy just does not have the minerals to go up against Mister.
Mister just not missing, it would seem, as he soared out top middle and just had all the confidence in the world to hit his shots and get the cleanup. Looney now answers back on a kill to Mister, but still enough breathing space now. If you're Dinero, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything rash. You can just play your game and allow Mockit to come to you and make the mistakes that they have been making so far in the series. Squashy top middle drops down. Looney now throws a grenade, looking for that information. Squashy gets Precision Eye down to one shot, but importantly, Squashy also taken down to one shot. So a trade in the feed. And now Looney, card 2. Should have got that information that the opposing player was across the way from him, but he seemed to be caught unawares then when that shot came in. Almost gave him a fright. Grenade banks up there. Not enough though on this occasion as Squashy gets taken down and Looney's in a world of hurt.
Wow.
A fresh 5 for Mista and not losing too much shields either. So when you're hitting all your shots and the opposition player's not hitting any shots onto you, it's easy Halo.
Mister is on 11 kills right now, as are Mockit. So Mister has as many kills as both Squashy and Looney do combined. Precision Eye is not too far behind either with 10 of his own. So this is really a clinic on Truth for Mister and Precision Eye. I don't even feel like we should be paying them for this clinic because they are just teaching us how to play this map to a T. Camouflage coming up soon. I don't think Mister and Precision Eye will care too much about that. They just want to continue to extend their lead and maybe get this one onto game 2 as quickly as possible.
Yeah, such is the difference, it would seem, in class right now. Wonder Boy said we're getting a clinic. It's a free consultation as well, because it's not in our budget to be paying you for, lessons, but at the same time, maybe I'll send you some money for a friend's request. 800 MSP. Precision Eye takes down Mockit again. Squashy comes off the respawn, immediately gets himself into a gunfight with Camouflage player. Big kill for Squashy. Big win, but such is the difference in kills. Will it be enough? Big grenade comes through then as well, but doesn't take him down to no shields, interestingly enough. So just missed him. Squashy now playing the attic expertly now. He's been here time and time again, but Precision Eye backs him down, missed it, immediately getting aggressive then, knowing that player is weak. Pushes the base. Precision Eye now soars out car side. Puts a shot down again, missed it. Absolute. Squashy missing his shots though. That is key. Should have been a free clean there. Missing out in a fight with Squashy again. This time Squashy makes no mistake. Answers him with a 5. 23 kills to 16. Still a lot of time to work, but you have to play some perfect Halo now if you're Mockit.
Yeah, that's a good start though. A nice clean team wipe to get them rolling. Squashy needs to make sure he's playing his life as best he can here. But unfortunately, in doing so, it doesn't give Looney the assistance he needs, and now he will be singled out here on top middle. There is no way of him getting out of this one. And that will be all she wrote for Mockit in game 1. Dinero going into a lead.
A dominant display, you'd have to say, from Dinero, getting almost all of the kills that they needed early doors, and then when the time started to run down, and although Squashy and Looney were trying to answer back with some pressure of their own, it wasn't enough as the damage difference in itself. 2,500 from Mistdown. We were on board with him for most of his POV, and that we could see that he was putting in the damage, but now the stats have backed that up.
He was having a blinder. He really, really was. It was just so impressive and almost disappointing at the same time. Disappointing from Mockit's standpoint that they weren't able to shut him down, but at the same time impressive from Mister, knowing that there were holes in the Mockit defense and that he knew that there were avenues for him to exploit, and we saw that for, like you said, the majority of his point of view was that game number 1. I mean, it was fun to watch he and Precision Eye work together, but we'll have to see if the same thing happens that we've seen in previous series. Teams that win the truth in game 1 move over to the rig and really, almost stumble up on themselves. I think every single game we've seen so far whoever has won game 1 then goes on to lose game 2 here on the rig.
Yeah, we have seen a couple of game 5s and we have gotten to a game 4, so thankfully enough, we haven't seen any clean sweeps thus far. There's plenty of time for that here in this series, as the performance that Dinero GG put out in the first game, there is evidence there to suggest there possibly could be a sweep, but every time we say that and we mention that something's done and dusted, the other team answers back and says, you think you know what you're talking about? Absolutely not. There's now, Harry mentioned it before the game that Precision Knight was somebody that knocked him out during the double down special, but it was actually his teammate Mista who stepped up there, serious damage. So he's proven that he's also a force to be reckoned with, and he can more than hang with the big boys here. As Squashy and Looney have been there and done that as well. They've been around. They've competed over in America. They're at almost every land. They're a staple of the EU Halo community at the moment. But they're really getting it put up against them now, and their backs are against the wall against Precision Knight and Mista.
Yeah, we focused on Precision Knight as a player who's knocked me out, but Mista, his KD across all the qualifiers so far, 3.3, which is just absolutely insane. I think he has the highest KD throughout all of our divisions so far, which is obviously going to change after this series as he comes up against stiffer opposition and will continue to fluctuate throughout the Division 1 gameplay. But I mean, he's clearly shown after game 1 why he is such a strong force online. Right now, though, Mockit are doing a good job of getting back into things. Precision Knight could have a perfect flank on the two Mockit players here. Looney is already weak, but Squashy's there to back him up. Switches targets and actually gets both. You should not be winning that 2 versus 1 Precision Knight. Absolutely unreal.
For a second there, it looked as though he was a deer in the headlights and didn't quite know which one to aim for as he was bombarded, but he then reined it in towards the end of that engagement, and really he should not have got any kill, let alone both of them there, Wonderboy.
I mean, that's a momentum swinging play right there. Absolutely tremendous. Need to be very careful, Mockit, that they don't spiral out of control after that. They've gotten the score back to 5-5. But with new sniper popping soon, Precision Knight, if he loses that fight, maybe in a sticky situation of his own. Mista, I think, has the new sniper, which will fall
there it goes.
Unfortunately off of the map.
And Squashy, 7 kills of 5, 8 kills of 5. So they're already performing better, and that truth to regret transition has looked as though it could be telling true already. They're looking a little bit better, a little bit more at home on the rig. Although the one-to-one engagements are still favouring Mista and Precision Knight, but teamwork on this occasion, at the moment at least, Mockit are looking good. Can you get a trade here? That's all you can hope for with your teammates on the respawn, but look at that, Precision Knight just doesn't miss.
Big engagement to win there for Precision Knight, as Overshield's popping fairly soon. The first one, I think, was snapped up by Looney, but this time around, will Squashy grab it away? He will actually get the burn, so instead of it going in Mockit's favour, there is no Overshield to play for this time around, which certainly benefits Precision Knight and Mista, as they have the point advantage at the moment.
Yeah, if you're Squashy though, that is a life that you have to lose. You have to take that one on the chin for the team, because if they get that Overshield, then there's no real telling how far that could have pushed down Dinero. As you can see now, Dinero still putting some serious shots down, serious pressure as well. Looney doing a great job of staying alive, just going under the engine and under the noses, it would seem. Squashy, back rails, isolated, off the spawn, tried to help Looney. Looney instead gets out of dodge, but puts Squashy at risk then instead. Has Looney just fallen off the map? He has. He's also fallen into the abyss.
He stayed on, actually. It was Precision Knight who cleaned him up, so...
Oh, it would seem.
Sparing his blushes just there, and I can report back to you now, Richie, that I should not have eaten my Easter egg in lieu of dinner, because I cannot sit still in my seat.
Easter egg has gotten the better of Wonder Boy here. No doubt he'll dip back into that with maybe a cup of tea in a while. And you can never, once you open that Easter egg, you have to continue on and finish it.
It is not going back in the fridge.
No, it is not. It was in the freezer to start with, and because of that, he has paid the price with it all over his t-shirt and all over his lap, no doubt, as well.
You're not wrong.
Back to the Halo action now, as 13 kills in favour of Dinero GG. Mockit 10. Although they had the advantage at the start, the pendulum has swung back in favor of Dinero. Precision Knight in a fight with a gun. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable teammate there. I'm clapping my hands for you, Mystic.
Precision Knight didn't have a clue where he was being shot from. Did not have a Scooby-Doo. And yet Mr. comes along and saves his bacon. Look at the scoreline now. It was tied up just minutes ago. We were chatting about Easter eggs, and now it's a 5, making a 6-point advantage to Dinero. And he does actually trade himself off. What a huge play from Precision Knight. He's very, very much impressed me this game.
Looney, Engine 2, face with Mista. That's another trade. Precision Knight clambers up. He's looking at where those players had just fallen, where that engagement just went down. Trying to identify any Mockit player that he can. Does anybody want the smoke? Does anybody want the fire from Precision Knight? And Squashy, it looks as though he clambered up towards the sniper rifle spawn. Squashy now, Engine 2, jumps up into that ledge. Did he get that audio cue from Precision Knight? Does he know where he is? Precision Knight just buying his time, waiting for a player to maybe be weak. Looney, that's him, dead. Looks now immediately over towards top tower. Josh in the spawn, bunker. Trades off. That's great if you're Dinero GG. Overshield, any minute now. Looney in a battle with him. Overshield in the pocket, picks it up, keeps on running. I'll have you for breakfast. Looney falls.
I mean, that timing to a T from Precision Knight is so impressive when you consider that's the first overshield they've grabbed at this game. Absolutely wonderful. I mean, they burned Looney at the start of the game and then burned Squashy. Lucky not to fall off the map there, but it's so impressive to maintain that fight whilst holding whichever button you choose to pick up the overshield. In my case, it would be B, but I don't want to presume. And to then just get out of dodge straight away, so impressive from Precision Knight. Mechanically, very tricky to do. And unfortunately for Looney, he might just be the last kill of this game.
Yeah, 2020, we do not want to assume your button configuration. You're free to express yourself in any which way you want, whether that be bumper, jumper, recon, or just standard old default. The Precision Knight falls 24-17. Squashy getting shot in the back, trying to get out of there, but instead runs straight into a world of hurt. Grenades come through. Bottom tower, he's in big trouble as he falls now. Precision Knight missed it. 2-0 in the series, and this might be our first sweep, as they actually have broken the curse of when you win truth, do you lose rig? Not today, say Dinero. 2-0.
And again, I hate to pinpoint one play that really was a turning point throughout the game, but think back to that 2 versus 1 or 1 versus 2, I suppose you should say, win where Precision Knight was fighting 2 players from white corner. I mean, that's a kill that should never happen. We had some windy shots, obviously, coming in from both Looney and Squashy there. Otherwise, Precision Knight would have been melted. Looking at the stats, I mean, a +8 spread from him actually had less damage than his teammate Mr. So both of the players from Dinero GG really stepping up to the plate. And it's been a lackluster performance, I won't lie, from Looney and Squashy so far. Yeah,
let's take a look at the series layout as it's all gone down so far. 25-16 truth, 25-17 on the rig. And will we keep on with that same sort of tradition? Will we see maybe a 25-18 on regret? Only one way to find out. Stick with us here as we maybe get a sweep, or will we go to a game number 4 as can Mockit bounce back? Or will Dinero continue their dominance so far?
They need to make a statement at the start of regret here. Do Mockit. We'll start with Looney, but really they need to stamp their authority on this map early. They cannot let Precision Knight and Mr. run around the map with an overshield and trap them in bases. Looney smartly turns around, takes down Mr. Not sure about the repeat though. In my opinion, maybe should have just stayed at home, got your shields, but either way, keeping Precision Knight weak will allow Squashy to grab the overshield, and that's the start that they need if they want to take regret.
He's run straight up after that player onto car side with the overshield. Now, sometimes that can be good, but other times if that player knows straight away where you're coming from, then as you can see, he got that plasma pistol and he was ready to EMP him at a moment's notice, but missed it. Taking down to absolute. Precision Knight also taking down to absolute. This is better. This is what we need to see from Mockit.
Much better. They're actually starting to work as a cohesive unit. They're starting to pinpoint the same players and they're moving fluidly across the map. Look at this double base pinch here. Squashy using the rest of his overshield to try and put damage down best as he can. And there is Looney again, that double pinch from both sides. If you're hesitate for just a moment here on regret, you can be fighting a two-way battle in a moment's notice, and Mockit really capitalizing on the hesitation at the moment from Dinero.
Yeah, it's almost rinse and repeat. Get 2 kills in a base, rotate, get 2 kills in a base. But now, for just a brief moment, it looked as though Dinero had stopped the bleeding and been able to get some sort of map control, but Mista falls in the kill feed. Precision Knight all alone here on cart in a world of hurt, gets the kill on the Looney, and that again, I'm not sure Looney has to challenge that Wonderboy, as Josh could have maybe came over and gave him a little bit of help, but instead the trade comes in. Missed the shots down.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It might be a case of wanting to, again, stamp your authority on these two players. If you find yourself 2-0 down, you want to be trying to take those individual fights and winning them, just to show your opponents that you're not just going to roll over and show your belly. Looney, again, pushing in on no shields, maybe felt like he had nowhere else to go, but these sorts of deaths, one by one from Mockit, are exactly what their opponents want. Dinero want this to happen. They want you to start making foolish mistakes. Luckily, the split spawn comes in from Looney and Squashy to allow them a foothold back onto the map and stop the bleeding. But they've allowed Dinero back into this map here. They need to be very careful not to die individually as they are right now.
We've all had those games in no matter what FPS title you play where you maybe make a mistake and you make another, and then you start to try and really atone for the errors that you're making, and thus all you end up doing is making more mistakes and just compiling any error that you were making before, and you go from bad to worse, from the frying pan into the fire. And Looney both occasions decided to drop down and fight a guy while he was absolute, and although one player was absolute as well, in Halo you don't need to take them fights.
Especially when you're playing against two individual monsters in Precision Knight and Mista. Looney,
Wonderboy, just like you said,
caught completely unawares here. Just need to mind themselves here to Mockit, because I mean it was 9-5 at one point, was it not? And now it's 11-10 in the enemy team's favour. So Overshield going to Mista's control as well. Dinero have well and truly dug themselves out of this hole. Looney will get a kill back, but they now have to worry about the Overshield in the hands of Mista.
Maybe we should shoot over to Mista and see what he can do. As Wonderboy pointed out that you don't want to be giving out silly deaths, because before you know it, you can be back down again in the game. And as you can see now, they were up by 4 or 5 kills and now level on kills. So we do know what we're talking about every now and again. We have a little gem. At the current moment, Mista, lovely bank grenade, hits that ring, takes the player down to no shields. Quick pistol shot to the face, that's enough. I'll see you again. You're going to that respawn screen. You know, Mista. Top middle, Looney takes some shots. Can he fire back? He does answer back, but again, challenging on one shot again, Wonderboy.
It's ego challenging. It's something that too many of these inexperienced players do, and again, you don't need to re-challenge that. I mean, maybe if he hits a headshot, he doesn't die, but Squashy now is in a tough position because, I mean, he basically has to fight a 2v1 until Looney is back in a position to help him out.
Yeah, here is that 1v2 as both players collapse on him in the base, and Looney nowhere to be seen. Mista gets the kill onto Squashy with a frag grenade. Precision Knight transitions up to top middle. They're immediately hunting. The wolf pack is out again in full force. Zap. There goes Looney. He's been task managered. Control alt deleted. Squashy, P2, put some shots down, but now Precision Knight was going to challenge, then he importantly decided not to. And as you can see, Squashy's still in trouble, like he was before, but now Precision Knight a much better. Oh, he's just missed his shots there, but it was almost classic Halo action as Precision Knight looked to be on course to get maybe a double kill there, but such was the good shots from Looney and the bad shots from Precision Knight at the worst possible time.
Yeah, just skimmed his head. Was unfortunate not to be rewarded with a headshot in Halo 5 with the hitboxes being as big as they are, but you can lament if you are Mockit here, your opponents, for maybe being onliners or maybe having superior internet connections, whatever the excuse may be, should they lose this map and this series. But ultimately, fundamental Halo is being played by Dinero. They're not over challenging, they're, you know, reeling themselves in, and I've seen several mistakes so far from, I hate to single him out, but the man we're watching at the moment, Looney, where he is just being a little bit too overexcited and trying to do too much. Like you said before, you can compound your mistakes in Halo when you try and do too much to try and alleviate them. And that is, again, one of those situations where we may have seen a more experienced player just turn and run, knowing that the second player might try and come and hunt you down. And guess what? Squashy's just gone down right as the overshield's coming up. This could be the dagger. This could be the nail in the coffin here for Mockit, as overshield is popping any moment.
Looney has 11 kills and 10 deaths, so the stats might tell you that he's doing okay, but we're seeing time and time again how much of his kill difference could he have had he not made those decisions to challenge on one shot. We might have been looking at 11-5, 11-6. So he could have really had a much better display as Squashy utilising that overshield. Then Looney backs him up, gets the kill, 20-19. This could go either way.
Yeah, better there from Mockit. Again, I don't want to, harp on about how poorly they've played so far, because they haven't. It's been fairly close when you consider where they are in the series. But if Squashy's able to stay alive here, which he cannot, they would be within touching distance of maybe stealing this game away. But with Looney by himself for a moment, as Squashy's coming off the respawn, he basically has to hope that Squashy's looking at the exact same thing. Otherwise, they're going to be picked off here slowly but surely by Dinero, who are ready to collapse.
Yeah, although it might look like we're bashing and roasting Looney, the case of it is that we just expect a little bit more from him. We've seen him be a real force in European Halo, and he's letting himself down just a fraction here.
They're fighting different things here, Richie. It's just, I mean, you take too long there, and now Squashy has to fight two different opponents, and instead of it being a 2v2, it's basically a clean wipe in favor of Dinero, and that's Mockit's chance of this series done and dusted.
Well, now that Wonderboy has said that, no doubt this is going to be 25-24 to Mockit, I believe. As they are trapped in the base now, pressure coming through from top middle. Dinero GG just looking to get one more kill. Squashy's pushed out P side, but Looney is also all alone on window. Missed it, popped down to no shields, but vitally so is Josh. And there we go, trade comes through, and it's that man Looney. He gets a kill, but he also dies. 25-21, that is a clean sweep, Dinero.
Well, we saw 2 Game 5s earlier on. We saw a Game 4 as well. And we're back down now to a fresh 3-0 sweep to finish off the stream. We'll see the stats here. Precisionite, 15 kills, 12 deaths. On the other side, Squashy, 8 and 11, not great. But we'll take a look at some of the damage dealt. Pretty high across the board, honestly. And Looney, for all we were, hating on him and maybe putting him down a little bit, actually had the most damage dealt in the game. Obviously, when you're challenging the world, that's probably going to be the case. But, he did his best. Just needs to reel those deaths down a little bit, and maybe Mockit would have had a chance. But again, it's all situational here in this level of play in Division 1. It's going to come down to those small, minute plays and that go in one team's favor. And more often than not, unfortunately, Mockit were on the losing end of those plays.
Yep, they were on the receiving end, and although Looney try as he might to really force the issue and atone for any errors that he made, and like we say, he had 13 kills, he had 14 deaths, but maybe he would have had a far less deaths had he not been pushing people while he was one shot. And although the other player where he was fighting was one shot, you don't need to play that percentage. Don't roll that dice. Wait for your teammate. You've loads of time in the world to work with, but they do now fall 3 maps to 0, and that is now back-to-back losses in Division 1 for them, and they'll really need to try and bounce back for week 3 as we get the fixtures announced later on today. But that will be all we have time for here. And a massive, massive thank you to Wonderboy for coming on and sharing the booth with me. As we take a look now.
Yeah, no problem. It's been an absolute honor. I love casting Halo, so I'll probably be back again in another one of these weeks. But yeah, you can check out the results we had earlier on this evening. As we just saw, Dinero taking down Mockit 3-0. For me, the best games were those first 2 games that we had, Richie. I mean, Game 5s to kick off the stream back-to-back was an absolute blessing. Yeah,
you can't ask for more in your Halo streams and back-to-back Game 5s. And Division 1, such as the class, the difference, and games can be won and lost in a moment and one misplay. And we've seen that there time and time again. But in Division 2, we've seen some really great Halo. Both teams making mistakes, but then both teams making... That is, most of the time, Wonderboy, that is the difference between the top level players, that when you make a mistake, you're punished for it. But in Division 2, we're seeing people make mistakes, not always be punished for it.
Yeah, that's the case oftentimes, sometimes in Division 1 as well. And what I don't want to see is from some of these players, like, to blame it on connection and blame it on things out of their hands. You have to take responsibility as a team as some of the things that you could have done differently. Don't just say, if it was LAN, we would have beaten them, because like we just saw with Mr. and Precisionite, they were playing better fundamental Halo. Yes, maybe they were getting away with more in individual gunfights, and yes, maybe 1 or 2 kills would have gone the other way if everything was on an equal playing field, but they were not over challenging. They were keeping their heads about them. They weren't giving away silly deaths where necessary. So just take a bit of responsibility and go back to the drawing board. Think to yourself, if I'd approached this situation a little differently, or if I hadn't poked my head out here and got my face taken off, maybe we would have had numbers advantage and maybe things could have gone differently. So what I want to see for the rest of the season from these not only Div 1 teams, but the Div 2 teams as well, take responsibility, be constructive about what went wrong, and actually, go back and reflect on your gameplay, and don't blame online gameplay. Online is BS anyway. Like, we all know this. Like, crazy stuff happens online. But what can you do differently within your control to approach situations differently that may have given you a higher percentage chance of taking the play? Yeah,
sometimes you can blame old reliable, which is lag in your arena game types, but when it comes down to the really nitty gritty, you need to look at maybe go over the footage. Maybe in this occasion I shouldn't have peeked out. Maybe at this time I could have gotten over shield, or we could have set up differently, and you could have played your life, while I could have maybe offered you some support, like Cristola and Sherzy too. But they had to pee in the car split time and time again. We'll have a look now as we were giving away that Know Your Roots nameplate. Here it is, rare, exotic.
Ooh, shiny.
Look at it. It's sexy. All you have to do is go onto our YouTube video where I'm talking you through all the results of the last week and making my predictions, which no doubt I have messed up on this week. But all you do is go on there, predict or message in who I said was the MVP, and you could be in with a chance then of getting that grassroots nameplate. But that is all we have time for today. And again, massive thank you to Wonderboy, and we'll be back again next Sunday, 5 p.m. sharp. See you guys then.
Bye.